Hey, welcome guys. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Also hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. Now, before you watch this video, I recommend you go back and watch the last video I posted. I will leave a link up above in the cards and in the description down below. This way you'll have a little context to what this video is about. So this woman had a boiler put in. She did a little research after the boiler was put in because she was getting some noises, and she called back the original plumber to make some corrections. She wasn't happy. He came back, he made some corrections. Things still weren't going right. He was giving her a hard time. She called another guy. He came in, did some modifications, and that's what that previous video is about. That's why I suggest you watch that first. And after he finished, she was still having problems with noises. So she reached out to a third plumber, and he wanted to come in and basically revamp the whole steam main. And at that point, I was keeping in communication with her, and I said, you know what? Even though this is not my service area, I got to come out and see what's going on because what I'm hearing just doesn't sound right. Let me come out, see what was done by all the plumbers involved, and I'll make some recommendations to you because I don't think you have to repipe the whole house. I mean, after all she did was have a new boiler put in. So watch that video first, then come back and watch this one, and I'll catch you at the end. All right, so here we are. This is a Burnham IN5 steam boiler that was installed by a gentleman. She was having some problems. He came back, made some modifications. I suggest you go back and watch the original video before you continue with this one. So I made a job site visit. This is what I found. Here's another shot of it from another angle. And she had two guys perform some work on here. She actually had a third guy come in. He wanted to repipe the entire steam main, which I thought was unusual. So I agreed to take a ride out there, give her my opinion, and make some recommendations to her on what should be done. And as you can see here, here is a shot of the Hartford Loop. Actually, in the original video, the water feeder was feeding down on top of that T. You can see that T is plugged there, but for some reason, the guy who ran the return along the floor decided to put it back into the return, and you can see that here. He actually plugged the T and ran the water feed down into the return, and you can see that copper return along the floor there runs all the way to the front. That's done with ProPress, excuse me, and yeah, that's seems to be the new way of doing things. This is the main that was there, the existing main that the third guy wanted to completely redo and repitch, but I found it wasn't necessary. Although it was minimal pitch, it was pitched enough to where the water would flow toward the return. So I just lifted up a low spot along the line that I found and, resecured it. And I did recommend to her that she should insulate everything. That was my #1 recommendation, is to insulate all the open steam lines. And in this next shot here, you'll see where he did, the second plumber dropped it down to the floor. As I said, originally in the original video, this was above the water line. They actually made a dry return, and she was getting really, really a lot of banging going on. So he brought it down to the floor, wrapped it around the corner. He lifted it up there on Kindorf. He used some Kindorf down on the bottom with the straps to secure it in place, and then ran that all the way back to the boiler and tied it in to the Hartford Loop. And here's another shot of that coming up. And it's quite a long basement. Pretty neat job. Again, this was done by the second plumber. This wasn't done by the original plumber. The original plumber had it up on the wall above the water line, and it wasn't even pitched. So I don't even know how the condensate was making it back to the boiler. Now, if you look at the line going to the left, coming down, there was a radiator up in the kitchen that was connected to the supply, and it was back pitched. So what he did was he ran a separate return for that radiator up in the kitchen. And here's another shot. You'll see that line coming down, and you could see the line going up in between the bays, and that was going to a radiator that was in the kitchen. And you're going to see that coming up in the next shot here, where he actually put a union in and a coupling to take an elbow out. Actually, in this shot here on the right, the extreme right, he put a T in place of an elbow, and you'll see that coming up next. And he put that return on there to aid in the condensate from that radiator getting back to the boiler. And over here, where that T is, that T you're looking at, that 1.25 T, it was an elbow. And it was going back into the main, and there was a little bit of a back pitch going on. So he just put this in and dropped a separate copper return for that one radiator that was banging up in the kitchen. And here it is again. And this is where it drops back down again. And I had to tweak the pressure on here. I was doing my best to tweak the original factory supplied pressure control to get it to a point where I just about got it to cut out at about 1.75 pounds. And here you see the steam gauge. It was cycling on and off, and it would cut in at about 0.75 pounds. And basically, this is what I found. And I did the walkthrough upstairs. I didn't hear anything she said she was hearing, but I'll explain to you in this upcoming clip. So one other thing I found was when I first turned the system on and it started to run, I wasn't noticing any registering on the steam gauge. And all of a sudden it went off, and I'm hanging around waiting for it to come back on again. And the boiler wouldn't come back on again. I actually physically had to take the face off the pressure control and with my finger push down inside the bellows to get it to come back on again. And I had to do some tweaking. The previous guy had adjusted it to the point where he took the tension off the spring to the point where it wouldn't reset itself after it's shut. So I had to readjust. I had to play with it actually for quite a while. And I finally got it to where the steam gauge was registering again. But I had to really play with it to kind of zone it in, and I got it to cut out at about 1.75 pounds, just under 2 pounds. Which was the best I could get it. And it would run, and when it dropped to 0.75 pounds, it would come back on again. So 0.75 it would cut in, and about 1.75 pounds it would cut out. I would like to have done less, but I couldn't do it with the existing control, and I couldn't see going out and putting an expensive vapor stat in there. So as of now, everything was working fine. It cycled on and off, and as I said, as it was cycling on and off, I did a walkthrough through the house, and I did not experience the noises she claimed she was hearing, and that was keeping her up all night. And yeah, that's what went down. Now, what I did discover, she told me that before the original boiler was put in, sometime in May, this past May, before the original boiler was installed, the old boiler's water feeder failed and filled up the entire heating system almost to the second floor. And I thought to myself, now, you should have told me that up front. Now I'm getting a better idea of why the radiators are making noises. Now, I will say this, while I was there and I had this boiler up to pressure, I walked through the house. Now, I heard expansion noises, but I did not hear any gurgling, or I didn't hear any snapping, or any of the noises she claimed she was hearing. And I kind of reiterated to her that these noises had to have been there before the new boiler was installed. What I'm hearing aren't water hammer or water. I'm hearing expansion noises, and she kind of disagreed with me, but I said to her, listen, you can't expect that a new boiler is going to solve a problem with the system. So these are things to keep in mind. So what I did do is I made some recommendations. I think the first thing she should do, this is my professional opinion, some of you guys out there may disagree, but all that exposed steam piping downstairs, the steam mains, all the exposed branch lines that you can get to up in between the bays, you must insulate everything. That's including the steam header coming off the boiler. Fiberglass insulation, insulate everything. You're looking to keep the steam dry. You're looking to get that steam traveling down the pipe without condensing before it gets to where it has to go. Otherwise, you're going to get condensation forming, and that could present a problem upstairs. My second recommendation to her was to, if in fact the system was flooded, have somebody come in, disconnect the affected radiators, and if there's water in there, she could have to drain them out. Now, this may or may not cause the radiator valves to be replaced, because some of those old valves, once you break them, they never go back right, so she may have to have new radiator valves installed. Some of the air valves that were affected by the flooding, She claimed she did have them changed. They took out original Gordon valves and replaced them with Mado Mist, which in my opinion are bootleg Gordon valves. They're a cheaper version of a Gordon valve. I don't like them. I recommended to her that if she should install some Hoffman number 40 air valves. They're a little more forgiving to, if they happen to get wet, where I find the Gordon valves are a little more susceptible to water damage, but that's just my opinion. So a lot of things going on here. What I also did was, if you look at that steam main, it was pitched. I had a level all along it. It was pitched minimally. The water was traveling down the steam main toward the return. The guy that wanted to replace the steam mains told her that it was pitched in the opposite direction. I didn't find that. I put my level on it. Although it was minimal, I would have liked to have seen more pitch. It was going in the right direction. I actually pulled up a belly. There was a little belly in a certain section, and one of the plumbers there, he actually cut the strap iron and it dropped, and I lifted it back up again to secure it, and I got minimal pitch, but it's pitching from the boiler, away from the boiler, down the line toward the return. So the condensate and the steam were going in the same direction, and I didn't think it was necessary to have somebody come in and repipe the whole steam main. So guys, listen, when I install a boiler for somebody, I tell them up front, if you're experiencing problems upstairs, radiators making noise, gurgling, air valves spitting, the installation of a new boiler is not going to solve your problem. You have to treat that as a separate problem. The boiler, the system, two separate things. Now, in some cases, when I put a new boiler in, everything seems to magically disappear. On the other hand, I've put boilers in and people swear on a stack of Bibles that they're getting noises upstairs that they never got before. But as I probe further and further and I ask questions, I find out otherwise. So you have to be real careful when you're putting a boiler in and make sure you go over these points with your consumer. So there you have it, guys. So this is going to be my last video of 2020. I want to wish all you guys a very, very happy new year. And I'm looking forward to kissing 2020 goodbye. You know why, because of this COVID situation. It's a terrible thing, but we all lived through it, and I have a feeling we're going to be dealing with this well into 2021. With that said, I'm glad you stopped by as always. If you enjoyed the videos, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. More importantly, hit that like button. YouTube loves it when you hit that like button. They'll put these videos out in front of more eyes. Keep an eye out for one of these two videos that are going to pop up to my right and left. One of them I chose, one of them YouTube chose. I want to thank you once again for stopping by. As always, I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Stay well. As always, happy plumbing and Happy New Year.